What's up, Internet? I'm back with another BattlBox video for the eye holes in your face. This is mission 33, and it's all about self-reliance. So let's quit screwing around and break on into the box, why don't we? I haven't even opened this one. All right, mission 33, right here. Self-reliance. Show you the Sitrep card here. So on the front, we've got the basic, advanced, pro, and pro plus level of this month's subscription with the MSRP values of each item in the box. And on the back, as always, the Sitrep wilderness survival skills. So Daniel spends quite a bit of time working on the back of this card. Be sure to read it. It's got good information in there. So first up on the basic box is the Speedy Stitcher Sewing Awl Kit, made in the USA, right here. Check it out. So this is a really cool item because it gives you the ability to repair, fix things through stitching, or even make things, right? It's got a wooden handle, comes with some extra waxed thread here, but you've got a little spool in here, which I'll show you some close-ups on a knife sheath that I was working on. But you got this little spool right here that goes into the bottom of the awl. You've got this chuck here that you can take off, and you have two needles. You've got a curved needle, and you've got a straight needle. In the awl itself, where you install the needle, there's a groove there. Also in the needle, there is a little groove. So you want to be sure to line those grooves up and lay the thread into the groove. And then you can put your chuck back in. Be sure not to pinch the thread while putting the chuck back on. You want the thread to be able to move freely through the chuck there. And then at the front of the needle, there's a hole for you to thread through the needle. Like so, like that right there. Isn't that nice? So basically the process is pretty simple. All you have to do is push through the first hole, or make your first hole if you're punching through some thin leather or thin material, and pull enough thread through for your project. Be sure you have plenty of that. You pull back out through that first hole that you have and go into your second entry. Once you get all the way through that second entry, you want to pull back just a little bit on the needle, and as you can see here, a little loop is formed. All you have to do is take the tag end from the length that you pulled out with the first hole, run it through that loop, and then pull your needle back out and pull tight. And there you have started your stitching. So then you just repeat that process right on down the line. Go into your next hole, pull back a little bit, creates a loop. You thread your tag end through, pull back through, and pull tight, and work your way right on down your project. It's pretty simple to do. When you get down towards the end, you just clip off your excess. You can tie it, or you could take a lighter and burn the end and push it through to kind of weld it closed. So it's great for making things such as a knife sheath, or you're making holsters, or you're working on a belt or anything like that, but also good for repairs. As you can see here, I got that old pair of boots that have some holes in it, and I was able to stitch up a hole there using the awl pretty much in the same manner. And then everything just packs right back in itself, which is pretty nice. You've got these holes here that you can store your needles in, and you can wrap this excess thread up in there, cinch it back down. So it's all self-contained, and you get extra twine there, or thread as well. So a great tool for making repairs, making things, fixing tarps, fixing shoes, fixing clothing, fixing packs, making sheaths, all sorts of cool stuff. So that's your first item in the basic box. The second item in the basic box is the Opinel No. 6 carbon steel knife, and it's made in France. This is a cool little knife here, small and compact, be a great secondary knife. So let's run in the woods real quick, and we'll test it out and show you how it works. How about that? And just like that, we're in the woods. Ain't it nice? Ain't it pretty? This is where I love to be, is in the woods. So I figured we'd come out here and show some of these products in use. But here's your open awl knife here, which is really cool. Nice, small, compact. It's very lightweight. Got a wooden handle. When you open it up, the collar here turns so that you can lock it down, so you don't have to worry about the blade coming back on you and cutting you or whatever. But this is just a great small knife for maybe more precision type work. I mean, obviously you're not going to be hacking away with something like this, but if you want to sit by the campfire and do a little whittling and hang out, or, you know, I know that most guys, when we're sitting around the campfire and camp or whatever, we're always, you know, cutting on something. But you can also use it to help process tinder, help you get a fire started and things like that, such as feather sticking. It's a very sharp blade. You know, if you're not careful, you'll cut all the way down through there. But very sharp, and it's not so small that, you know, a guy with decent sized hands can't really control it. So it's just a very good all around small, compact, and cool knife. Very unlike anything else that's ever come in BattlBox, with a nice wooden handle with a locking collar. So all sorts of uses. Obviously, it's a general pocket knife, or to help you do some finesse work when you're out in the woods. So that there is the second item in the basic box. The open awl number 6 carbon steel knife. Very cool knife, very sharp knife, so be careful not to cut yourself, and be sure you use this locking collar here that they have on there. So pretty cool item there. The third item is Marbles Pocket Puck Knife and Tool Sharpener right here. So this is a very cool knife and tool sharpener. It's actually a two-sided sharpener with a coarse and a fine side. So I'm going to show you how to use this as well. So here we have the Marbles Pocket Puck. It's a knife and tool sharpener, and it's got two sides. It has a coarse side and a fine side. Small, compact, doesn't weigh a whole lot, and definitely a good thing to have in your pack when you're out in the woods and things such as that, in case you need to sharpen a tool, be it shears, be it a knife, be it a machete. I've got this Chance and Hell 18-inch machete here that I bought a while ago, and I use this almost on a daily basis. As you can see, it's beat up pretty good. So we're going to use this, see if we can put an edge on this here machete. You should use some sort of lubricant, be it spit or some honing oil or something like that, which is also something good to keep with you. You got the Dan's honing oil that came in a past mission, knife care and maintenance. It's good to keep this in your packs as well. So you can either spit on it if you don't have oil with you, but if you do carry it with you, it's a great thing to add to your puck. And this is a brand new bottle I hadn't popped the top on. All right, so you got your coarse side, which is the darker side, and your fine side, which is the lighter side there. I'm gonna start on the coarse. Obviously, if you have a way to, make a vise, be it a couple logs, put this in, you can stand on it so that you can hold that steady while you use it, would be ideal. Also to help keep cutting yourself, but I'm just gonna do it like this. I wonder if y'all can hear the mosquitoes flying around my head right now. It's actually started to cool down here in Georgia, but the skeeters are still active. So as you can see, I'm already getting a pretty good edge on there where I can see where I've been running it down. Do the opposite side. So this works really good for larger blades such as this. Actually, last time I sharpened it, I used a small one that I've always kept in my toolbox, and it was a real pain in the butt. But this, I'm able to get a good purchase on my hand, and I'm able to go through there with a pretty decent amount of control. And that's actually coming together pretty good. So now I'm gonna switch over to the fine side. It's fine. It's fine out here in the woods with my machete. Nice fine machete. Oh, machete, how I love you. This has been a good machete right here. I mean, I had to buy it. It's called the Chance in Hell by Ken Onion. It's one of his designs. So I felt pretty confident it was gonna be a good one. Matter of fact, I cut a gash in my knee about 2 months ago with this thing. So it will kill. Sure plenty of y'all have heard that before. You can definitely tell I'm on the finer side from the sound. Oh yeah, that bad boy is sharp now. Let's cut something. You want to? Let's see how she cuts here. I probably should have did this before I sharpened it, but I don't believe she'd have done that. She was beat up pretty bad. Yeah, she's good and sharp now. So that's the third item in the basic box. Great little sharpening stone for tools and knives and things such as that. Great to throw in a tackle box, backpack, throw it in your back pocket, dual grit tool sharpener, right? So that is the third item in the basic box. The last item in basic is from Ready Man. It's the Tinder Scraper card, which is really cool. Let's have a little demonstration. So here we got the Ready Man Tinder Scraper. This is quite a bit thicker than what you're used to seeing from Ready Man as far as their cards. It has kind of the cheese grate grater style perforations here, as well as a saw on the side and 6 holes on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this stick here. I'm going to cut a couple notches in this so that I can fasten it to this stick. Probably a best idea to pull with it versus doing a full sawing action, unless you have gloves on, because obviously you got a cheese grater in your hand there. Don't want to grate your fingers off. That would kind of suck. I got 2 notches. I should be able to cinch this bad boy down right here. So there we go. So now I can take my fat wood, fat lighter, or lighter knot, plenty of names of it, and go to scraping. It's way nicer than holding it in your hand, for sure. So you just scrape away. And you can use anything other than fat lighter, obviously. You can just grab your old stick here if you need. And do the same thing. Just watch your fingers. I don't want to put no flesh down in there. But as you can see, there's an earthworm. He wanted to see what all the fuss was about. Look, it is not only is it a tinder scraper, but it is an earthworm whisperer.
There's like 3 of them right here.
The vibrations got the old earthworms coming up out of the ground. Look here comes another. Just found another use. So if you want to go fishing and you're looking for some earthworms, you can make some tinder and then wait for the earthworms to come out. Look here. There's no. And now we got it affixed, we could use this as a saw if we wanted to, just for the sake of conversation. Now I can use this as a saw and cut sticks with it. Sticks people throw at you. All kinds of cool stuff. You need to cut you a piece of fat lighter, which is extremely hard. It cuts right on into that pretty good too. So, very cool product from Ready Man. Earthworms. It's an earthworm magnet. So that closes out the basic box, which is a $24.99 a month cost. You got the Speedy Stitcher, the Open All knife, the Marbles Pocket Puck tool and knife sharpener, and the Ready Man tender scraper right here. Very cool basic box this month. So next up is the advanced box. The advanced box is a $49.99 a month cost. You get everything in advance and everything that was in basic as well. So the first item in the advanced box is from Condor. It's the Kephart Blade Blank. It's kind of a kit deal. So you got the Kephart Blade Blank. It's a blade blank right here. And you get walnut blocks and pins to go with it. So you open this up so you can get a little bit better view of it here. Why don't I just use the knife that it came with here? So you got your blade blank here from Condor. Be careful, it is very sharp right out of the package, so be mindful of that while you're building your knife. Your two blanks, or your two blocks for your handle, and you've got 3 brass pins here. So the process is pretty simple. You can go full blown with a lot of real fancy tools, or you can kind of keep it simple like I did. Basically, you just need a few things. You need some sort of marker, a Sharpie, some mineral spirits to wash the blank off, some sort of glue. I like to use Gorilla Glue. I have some water here to moisten before applying the glue, some paper towels or rags, some sort of clamp so you can apply pressure while the glue is setting in, a drill and a drill bit so you can drill your holes in your handles, something to sand down your handles to get it the shape and the smoothness that you want. You can use a Dremel tool or even a orbital sander like I have here. And of course you can just use sandpaper or use the sandpaper by hand that you have for your orbital sander. And a hammer, preferably a ball peen hammer, but I didn't have one, so I just used a basic framing hammer. Set your blank on the block and mark your holes. And then I just stacked the blocks together to drill the holes. Little side note here, be sure to use a drill bit the size of the pins and not the size of the holes in the blank. So then all I did was clean off my surface of the blank with the mineral spirits, just to be sure that I got any oils or anything that was in packaging off of there. Then I applied a little moisture to the materials before adding a little bit of Gorilla Glue. A little bit goes a long way. And then clamp that joker down and let it set for a few hours to be sure it gets a good bond. And next, all you got to do is take your Dremel tool or something to cut with, trim those pins down, and mushroom them out a little bit with your hammer. And then it's just time to shape it up, sand it down, shape it up into the shape that you want. And when you're happy with it, you're ready to apply your oil or what have you to it, and you're good to go. So here's my knife that I completed with the sheath that I made that I was showing with the Speedy Stitcher earlier in the video, but turned out pretty good. Got a nice finish there. Feels good in the hand. I mean, you just shape it up how you want it to be and make it your own. So this is a really cool knife right here. Have fun with it. That's what it's all about. Having a little bit of fun and ending up with a useful tool that you could use when you're out in the woods, hunting, fishing, camping, whittling in your backyard. The second and last item in the advanced box is a Deadfall Trap. This is really cool. I'm gonna have to go in the woods and show you. Get out of here. This isn't Bumblebee Day. So you have a Deadfall Trap here. Has directions, but I'm going to show you right now how to put this bad boy together out in the woods. So here's the DF4 Deadfall Trap set up. I'll show you the setup here in just a second, but basically all you need is a deadfall, something heavy, stone, anything like that. It just needs to be able to span the trigger mechanism to the top here. So basically just the weight of the deadfall on this piece here holds the trigger mechanism in place, ready to go. So it's locked and loaded, it's ready to rock. So basically you've got an area up here on the front here that has a little, like a barb or a hook, and it's got 3 holes down in there. You can use those 3 holes to lash bait to that, slide bait on, stick bait on, be it frogs, be it you know, just dead fish or anything like that, just some sort of bait. If the earthworms would come up, I'd put one on there. But so basically a small critter, all he's got to do is just come up here and go to nibbling on this trigger mechanism, which sets it off here, and the deadfall will fall onto your prey, so to speak. So it doesn't really take any force at all for that to drop down. So you got to get yourself a good heavy deadfall or stone or something like that, and it happens so quickly that it should smash your food. It'll go ahead and get it tenderized for you. So basically it folds up nice and neat. There's a couple different ways you can use this. You can use it as just a gravity deadfall trap, or you could also use it in a snare fashion. It comes with, I lost it somewhere in the leaves here, but it comes with a little piece of green wire that you can use as a snare, or use that to lash your bait onto your trigger mechanism. But you've got an area on here that's marked as G, so that's towards the ground, and basically you just make a figure 4 with your trap all the way around, like so. So there's your bait in, your trigger in pointed up, so the hook is up and the G is towards the ground. You set it up just like that. So you can keep this tight here with your fingers because it's very easily tripped. So you got to kind of hold it with your fingers. Get that set in the ground. Go ahead and have your bait lashed on there, obviously, because you don't want to be fooling with that while you're trying to get it set up. And basically just the weight of the deadfall holds it together. And you got dinner. So there you go, the deadfall trap. Really cool trap. It's fun to tinker around with, man, and figure out. Here's the twine that the wire that I lost in the woods. But very cool item there. Again, there's directions here, and as I said earlier, you can also use this as a snare type trap as well. So the directions for that is right here on how to make it a snare type trap. But deadfall, you know, deadfall traps have been used for many generations. You know, back in the day, people making them from scratch, just from stuff they find out in the woods and all. But this is a cool kit here, small and compact, easily packable, where you can make a deadfall trap, or at least practice the skill of making deadfall traps. So next up is the Pro Box. The Pro Box is a $99.99 cost, or $100 a month cost. You get everything that's in the Pro Box, advanced and basic with that level. So this month we have one item in Pro, and it's another kit, which is the Bushcraft Fire Kit from Zombie Tender. All right, so the Bushcrafter Fire Kit from Zombie Tender is really cool. You've got obviously this tin right here, and you also have dry climate tinder, cotton char, V3 mag Furrow Strike, the V4 SS, which is the super socket. I'll show you that. Some jute twine, some jellied cotton, and some 550 cord along with a flint rock. So really cool, comprehensive little box of goodies right here. So we're going to go through it and show you how it works. I'm going to take out the jute twine, the jellied cotton, and the climate deal here, and show you how they light with a ferrocerium rod. And there's a few tricks. If you had a lighter with this here, you could light just this fire cord right here and it would go. But I'll show you what you got to do to get it to go off with a spark. So I got some jute twine here. And what you want to do with it is get a section of it and rough it up. You can take a knife and kind of scratch at it to fluff up the fibers a little bit. That all fluffed up. Put that here. The cotton, you can fluff it up just a little bit. And with this, what you want to do is cut it open to expose the interior. This has got a lot of wax and oil and everything on it, so it's waterproof. So if it were to get wet or something like that, or get damp, you can cut into it and be assured that the insides are going to be good to go. So I'm going to open that up and fluff up the fibers on the inside a little bit. So there we go. There's 3 means of fire. Now all we got to do is throw some sparks at it. So this is a really cool ferrocerium rod kit here. You've got a magnesium block here, some paracord, and it's all contained together. So there's your striker, your rod, and some magnesium. This striker here's got 4 very sharp 90-degree edges on it, and basically you just got to get your angle right, kind of at a 45, and you'll be able to throw some sparks to get the coating off. And there we go. So we're going to start with this guy right here, see how he lights off. Just like that. That's pretty easy. One of the cool features about this is the fact that it will burn for a long time. It'll give you plenty of time to gather materials and slowly work yourself a fire going. So this will actually burn for several minutes to allow you some time to get going with your other materials. See how this cotton does. There we go. So that lights off really easily. Doesn't last as long, obviously, as this does, just because this has got the wax and the fire cord and other oils and all in it as well. So this is going to last a little bit less, but you don't need as much of it to get by. And obviously you could cut this completely in half and just use half of it if you wanted to. That way you still have more for later. So let's go for the jute twine. There we go. And it lights off relatively quickly too. So now I've got a fuse, so to speak, that's going to burn for quite a while and allow me time to get going. So out of the 3, we got 2 still going. This has still got a little bit of an ember going there. I don't know if you could see that, but as you can see, this one right here is still kicking pretty good, and we're about 2.5–3 inches so far on the jute twine. So next up in this kit is the flint and steel. So you got the Super Socket V4 here, which has belt loops in it and holes for lanyards for adding paracord or what have you. So you can run your belt through here and keep it on your side. It also has a socket here for a bow drill that I'll show you here in a little bit as well. You got your flint, and then of course earlier I showed you the char cloth there. Cool thing about this kit as well is you got that tin there. When you need to make more char cloth, you can poke some holes in the tin, throw some denim, some old blue jean pieces about yay big, and throw it in a fire, and as the fire burns, you know, you'll have char cloth when it's all over with. So what I like to do is take my steel and go ahead and hit my flint and try to find a sweet spot where I'm getting good sparks. So I got good sparks there. Not so much there. So there, each piece is different. You just got to kind of find your sweet spots, right? So typically when striking down onto the flint, sparks will fly up and land on the char cloth. So what I like to do is put the char cloth right on the edge here in hopes of a spark jumping on it or it catching a spark right at the edge. And I've got this bird's nest here that I made out of packing material. I wanted to show how well this stuff works. So I got that kind of in a bird's nest fashion there. All right, got an ember going. Woo! And there you go. We got far. So that's kind of my technique on using a flint and steel. It's pretty easy. You just kind of you got to have good material for a bird's nest, and you got to be real careful not to blow too hard to blow out any progress that you're getting with your fire there, and just be patient with it. You might have to do it a couple times, but that's the process, and this packing material works really good for starting a fire. So be sure to save your packing material and make some small kits and some, you know, sandwich bags or something like that, and you'll be good to go with good dry material. All right, so the final item, I guess, or skill that's in this kit right here is using the Super Socket as a bearing or a socket for your bow drill. So I've got, and using the paracord to make a bow, but I've got this one that I made a while back, messing around, teaching the kids how to do it, and it's been working pretty good, and I've got all the stretch out. So I'm just gonna roll with this, but you do have paracord so you can make one. So the socket here is obviously made out of steel, so you want plenty of friction down towards, you know, the hearth board, and not up here at the spindle here. So you can use spit for lubrication, you can use grass, you can take grass and kind of break it down in your hands and get it down in there and work it in with your spindle. Leaves work pretty good. There's all sorts of leaves out in the woods you can use to help you kind of lubricate that socket there, so you don't have too much friction going on up here and it getting this steel hot on your hand. So I'm going to take these leaves here and kind of mash them in there, try to get some of their oils out. And I'm going to leave the leaves in there as well. Try to put that there. I got another bird's nest here of packing material, and I'm hopefully going to start a fire. This is probably one of the hardest skills in fire making, and we're going to see how I do with it. Hopefully I'll get it done. If not, y'all have fun watching me sweat it out, I guess. So what I want to do, I want to be right-handed here. There we go. You need a piece of wood or something to catch the ember, hopefully to transfer it over. Try to keep your bird's nest as close as possible. Put my foot there on the board. Try to keep it somewhat level. Take my super socket. Set it there in place. Try to support with my leg. And here we go. See what happens. I'm going to start off going a little slow until I get some material building up there on the bottom board. Once I get some smoke rolling, I'll speed up and hopefully get an ember, or I'll give out. One of the two. I'll probably give out. Come on. It went out. Anyway, again, this is probably one of the toughest skills. Making a fire is with the bow drill. Takes a lot of practice and sometimes good conditions. If it's humid outside, sometimes it's really hard to get going, and you got to be in shape. So that's the super socket. It worked great. I was able to have plenty of control up top, and the leaves made it where I didn't really get my hand hot or anything. I felt a little bit of heat, but not much at all. So awesome kit from Zombie Tender. So that's the pro item, the Zombie Tender Bushcraft Fire Kit. Very cool kit right here, and you know, it gives you kind of an excuse to get out in the woods and kind of work on those fire making skills using the items in this kit. Very cool kit, and it's a lot of fun to try to do that stuff with the flint and steel and you know, the bow drill and your striker and stuff like that. So it's a great small kit where everything's in, and the dry climate little ball in there, or balls in there, just those things are amazing. You open those up and that'll burn for quite a while, so you can get your fire going. So very cool kit right there. That is your pro item at $100 a month. You get that and everything in advanced and basic. So now it's time for the Pro Plus, the Knife of the Month Club, right? So that's a $150 cost. You get a knife or a blade or some sort of tool, cutting tool, each month, in addition to everything in Pro, Advanced, and Basic. So this month is really cool. It's a fixed blade. Let me break out my fixed blade. I'm getting there, y'all. This is the Condor Primitive Bush Knife, which is a Matt Graham design. It says El Salvador on it. Check that out, man. Is that freaking cool or what? So you got your nice sheath here for it. Fits in there nice. This sheath actually has this section here, this piece of leather that comes out. So basically you can stick this between your belt and your body, and it'll fit in like that, or you can run it down in your pants if you're that kind of guy. Hopefully you're not. That would be weird. Very nice bush knife right here. It's got a very thick spine to it, nice 90-degree spine, so you can use it for scraping tinder, and also use it for running on a ferro rod or something like that. A ferrocerium rod. Ferrocerium rod. It'll work great with that, and work great, you know, using it to baton or split wood, so you can beat on this knife rather hard. It's a great knife for just trimming small limbs and even cutting down decent sized saplings. Pretty much can cover any of your bushcrafting type needs with this blade right here. Very nice. I dig it. One thing I like about the handle is it's got the holes here with the pins, so you could put some cordage there to you know, be able to cinch down on your wrist or whatever if need be when you're really going at it, but also have cordage there, you know, in case you need some cordage. I said cordage a lot. Cordage. Some people hate the word cordage because it may not be paracord. It could be jute twine, could be a shoestring, it could be anything. So I guess that's why they call it cordage. We'll call it cordage. So that's your knife of the month right there, the Condor Primitive Bush Knife by Matt Graham. Really cool. I could do this all day. Fire, fire! So that's mission 33 of BattlBox, folks. A really cool box this month for Self-Reliance, especially if you were a Pro Plus subscriber, because you got 3 blades this month. Not to mention one that you could build yourself. So if you have children, family members, or whatever that would like to help you build that knife, I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. But also in the box, really cool items with the Deadfall Trap, the Tinder Scraper, the Fire Making Kit, the Speedy Stitcher right here. Great things to teach you skills on how to be self-reliant. So if you want to find out more about BattlBox, go to battlebox.com. That's BATTLBOX.com. Check out the What's in the Box tab. You can see all past missions, what were in the boxes, including videos, and see if there's a subscription level that fits your budget, and give it a shot. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. So as always, I appreciate you guys watching. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next month with mission 34 of BattlBox. Fire! Fire!
In your face.
We got 4. We got 4.